All right, I think we're live. I believe we are live. So I'm just going to tweet out the link and then we'll get started. Got a lot to discuss tonight. All right, looks like it's now live. Excellent. All right, welcome everybody. Let's get those numbers up. So yeah, big drop in Bit and crypto today, as well as the stock market. Very big drop. And I figured I would try to crowdsource the answers here, see what you guys think, and get some wisdom of the crowd potentially. Maybe if we're all smart people, we'll get some average that'll work out to be the truth or something close to it. What's going on here, folks? Is this all tariff anxiety? I don't see how tariffs directly impact a currency like Bit. And as I was saying on today's earlier live, as I was saying, I don't remember a bigger, more positive story than this this Bitcoin strategic reserve that Trump announced at the White House. Let's see, Dow falls almost 900 points as Trump declines to rule out possible recession. Possible recession. Okay, but who's selling crypto? Who is actually selling their crypto on the back of the greatest news it's ever received? At any given time, crypto could have been outlawed. And now that the US government is stockpiling it, now that they're maintaining a strategic reserve, it seems less likely than ever that it would be outlawed because that would make what they're holding worthless. So we finally have this direct tie-in terms of game theory and incentives. We have this tie-in where the US government, Uncle Sam, and the Bitcoin holder suddenly want the same thing. They suddenly want the same shared outcome. And that to me is such an improvement over the Biden antagonizing crypto era. It's a totally different asset now. It's a different thing. It has to be regarded differently now that a superpower is hoarding it. And so even as this market dips, even as people get nervous because of the tariffs and recession talk and maybe lower economic data coming out, even with all that stuff, it's like this is the digital gold. So it could, in theory, break from traditional stuff. It could become an asymmetrical bet. It doesn't follow the stock market and doesn't follow traditional assets. Hey, what's up, Imperfect? What's up, Doug? Anybody else? Hello. But yeah, I welcome everybody's theories tonight, and I'll certainly read off any that sound interesting. So again, I understand the stock market sell-off because it's anxiety over these tariffs, anxiety over can these multinationals remain profitable if they have to pay tariffs or if the consumer has to pay tariffs on the end product. So it's an economic experiment. We don't really know. So that makes sense that there'd be an uncertainty sell-off. But there's never been less uncertainty in crypto. Aside from the price, it's never been in a better position in terms of credibility. And it seems like it's finally found its place in the world with the superpower hoarding it. Hoarding it is part of their strategic reserve. And everybody just leaves. And everybody just leaves. I don't really understand it. Today was painful to hold on, but I did. I held on because I truly don't understand between good crypto and the stock market. The stock market is greedy people wanting exposure to profitable things. Right? That's like my understanding of the stock market, anyways. is you can't go out there and build a microchip yourself and then make a really high profit margin. That's not something you can do yourself, but you can trade some of your money and you can buy a tiny little piece of one of these circuit board makers that are worth trillions. And then you feel like you're part of the game, right? You're making money in the best way that you can because you have no specialized skills. Certainly, you don't have the specialized skills to build a chip. So you invest some money that equates to a very small piece of this massive corporation that is building microchips or whatever they're building, and that's the stock market. Well, there's no loyalty to that. When people see that they're no longer making money, they get out. Whereas with Bit, I feel like there's a different psychological thing. When you know the rules of the game, when you know it's capped at 21 million eventual coins, and when you know that what 90 something percent have already been mined and are out there trading or sitting in people's wallets, and you know that's it. There's not going to be more than 21 million ever. And now you got the US government sitting on more than 100,000 of them, and they might buy more in the future if they can do it in a budget neutral way. The executive order allows for that. And you got the whole rest of the world. You got 7.9 billion people. All of them need a way to sock their money away, and varying degrees of banking stability in different countries. It seems like it's a solution to many problems. Like again, the big risk that Bit faced was that the government would outlaw it, that Congress would pass some bill basically making it illegal to use in the US. And then the president would sign it and it would become law. That's not going to happen now that the president has created a Bitcoin strategic reserve. He's not going to sign something that makes his reserve go to zero. And so, again, we've got this shared interest suddenly between the US government and the common Bitcoin holder, which we've never had before. It's a totally different animal from before. Thoughts on Fort Knox and the potential upside for crypto? That's a great question. I don't know. What do you guys think? I really don't know. It seems like that's another wild card where crypto could do very well. Because at the end of the day, the US government can show its own citizens and it can show other countries. This is how much Bit we're holding, right? They can just publish an address and show people this is the public Bitcoin address or this is the public Bitcoin balance for the United States. Now, they haven't yet done that with Fort Knox. They haven't given us a balance in terms of ounces of what's actually there. We don't know. It seems like they've dropped that narrative. They're no longer bringing it up. It's very bizarre. But yeah, if anything comes of that, one way or another, it could definitely send more people into crypto because crypto does something that gold can't. You can actually show people what you have in a provable way. So yeah, everything seems to be down today. It's so weird. Gold's down, stock market down, crypto down. And again, cryptos are not stocks. It's not some corporation that's making microchips faster than other corporations making microchips. And then you bet with your money on that company, hoping they'll continue to make money for you. It doesn't have earnings, right? It doesn't have a quarterly earnings call, doesn't have a CEO, doesn't have a board of directors. It's just this digital commodity that's out there. And if the software is done properly, the cap is actually a cap, like in the case of Bitcoin. Most people agree that 21 million cap is real because it's actually in the code. But yeah, so very bizarre times. And today was a gamble. You know, I could have cut loose, but chose not to because I mean, again, this Bitcoin reserve is the most incredible news we've ever gotten, and people are just like, you know, oh, that's cool. No, this changes everything. It went from being some total fringe asset to now it actually is the internet's digital gold, the internet's neutral currency. And people need currency for stuff. You know, the more people, the more you need financial communication. And gold just doesn't do it. You can't send gold to people at distance. So the thing with modern humanity is the people within reach of you really don't have what you want. What you want is in some random warehouse in Ohio, or it's in some factory in South America, or it's in some vineyard overseas. It's not here. It's not within 50 miles of you. So therefore, sending gold thousands of miles away, and then days later, they get receipt of it. If it doesn't get stolen in the middle, they get receipt of it, and then they start to ship your package. That doesn't work in the internet age. You need something where you can send it digitally and have it settled the same day. And that's what Bit offers. Uh, Someone is selling off their Doge. Yeah, it's a sad moment, or I shouldn't say it's a sad moment because I haven't sold, but it's a depressing kind of vibe at the moment online. People all desperate, and it's like, what caused this? Again, the Bitcoin strategic reserve is the biggest news we've received since the ETF, and I think in terms of impact, it's actually much bigger. You could buy a lot. You could buy lots of Bit before the ETFs came along. There are ways to do it. And now the US government has a hoard of Bitcoin that it's promising to never sell, and people are bearish. It's crazy. It's a totally different, again, a totally different asset than pre Bitcoin reserve. It is a different political beast than it was before. It's like a different species. It has to be classified as a different thing now, in my opinion, anyways. Yeah, exactly. The Bitcoin strategic reserve is Bitcoin that the government has seized as part of investigations, criminal investigations and charges and stuff. So over time, that's only going to lead to greater lockup of value, in my opinion. Right? You get more criminals who get their coins taken away, and Uncle Sam sits on it. Again, there's only 21 million that will ever exist, and a lot of them are already out there. What's the exact percentage? Let me look it up real fast. All right, so 19,835,084 are circulating. So 19.83 million coins are out there. And that's 95% of the total coins that will ever exist. So that means over the next 50 or 100 years or whatever, there's only about 5% more that are going to be created, and all the miners are going to compete for that remaining 5% over, again, the next number of decades. That to me is significant because now you got this lock-in. You have this structural lock-in where the government will be taking people's coins. It's like one of the only assets that is just a pure IQ test. Again, it's not tied to earnings. It doesn't have a P to E ratio. It doesn't have analysts saying they're going to be more profitable next month or less profitable because there's no product. It's a currency. It's a synthetic commodity. But again, it just is an IQ test because it's like, well, if you have all these lockup sources, eventually does it not become more rare? Do people not have to just use less Bitcoin to convey more value? And so I think that's what might happen. Yeah, Russell, I'm back since January, but today is actually the first day streaming. So you caught me at a good time. First day back streaming on here, but I've been doing uploads since January. If you're interested in that, the last couple of videos update you on that scandal. Last couple of uploads. I don't want to contaminate this live stream with an unrelated subject that has resulted in some pushback from the YouTube higher ups. I don't want to confuse these two topics, but again, the last couple of video uploads will give you plenty of information on that. Yeah, good to see you guys though. Harv, everybody else, good to see you. All right, so our friend Mark has some insight here. He says this news is lost in the midst of tariff uncertainty. The refinance of the US debt, which is to the benefit of the US government, but not the holders in the meantime, it will come roaring back, but in 6 months. So I don't give time predictions. That's me reading Mark in the comments. Somebody says arrest Podesta. Yeah, so I don't give timelines or anything, but I didn't sell today because it's like, how can you be bearish when the Bitcoin reserve is now a thing? How can you be bearish when Strategy or MicroStrategy or whatever it's called announced the new up to $21 billion at the market offering or something? How can you be bearish in light of all these things? It seems like we're approaching the mainstream, we're approaching some kind of grand finale. And everybody just leaves. All these Zoomers just take off their cat ears, and that's it. The live streams end, and nobody's interested in crypto anymore. They're only interested in scamming each other with NFTs and meme coins and stuff on Solana. They're not interested in like real layer one blockchains. I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. Uh, Imperfect says recession talk in Q2 will likely stifle crypto gains. Definitely possible. It's possible this economic slowdown could hit everything, but it's not a sure thing, right? Again, I have this view that crypto is its own thing, much like gold and silver. And you can have a really shitty economy and still have gold and silver do very well. In fact, it can be the desperation that leads to gold doing well. And in the same way, I think it can be financial instability and lower returns on some of the big 7 or 8 tech stocks, lower returns in terms of profit will drive people out into crypto. They'll go further out into the waters in search of gains, in my opinion. So, but yeah, I could be wrong. It could be the opposite. It could be that everything deflates. I don't have a crystal ball. Less than ever, I don't know the future. I feel like we've come so much further than we ever thought we would. Uh, have this White House summit and then the strategic reserve so much further than I ever thought we would come. And got Kash Patel as the FBI director, this guy who was on Truth podcasts the last couple of years, talking about how the Federal Reserve is a scam. And he owns Bitcoin, current director of the FBI. On his public portfolio or whatever, he owns Bitcoin. Same with the Treasury Secretary, same with the Defense Secretary, same with the president's family. To not have any exposure to crypto at this point is insane. I don't ever argue with the market. I think the market is always right. I think some of these people who've ditched crypto at its most valiant moment are completely insane. This is like the victory party, and people are walking out before the first drink. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but I hope I'm correct that it won't make any difference. But yeah, that's about it here. So let's see what other comments that people posted. Someone early on said hodl forever, hold forever. Yeah, the hodlers will inherit the earth, but we don't know when, right? So yeah, I've never seen a situation where the news is so good that the SEC just announced something that was positive for crypto. It's completely bizarre that the market has become this depressed suddenly. Yeah, here's a headline: Just in, SEC to stop requiring crypto companies to register as trading systems. That's huge. So less regulatory burden if you're going to start a crypto trading platform. The whole thing is shifting toward crypto. And these random Zoomers are dumping out on us so they have liquidity to buy stupid meme coins on Solana so they can scam each other. I say good riddance. I say you are not the people we built this movement for, and absolute good riddance. Same with the Ethereum NFT scammers, all of them. It's a side thing at most, the using NFTs on Ethereum. Certainly, it's not the main use case for the blockchain. Blockchain is good as money. It's a good form of money. It's a good form of recording information. So, yeah, good riddance to these people. These people have the nerve to sell out our most victorious moment since the whole thing started. Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous, actually. But yeah, I'm going to leave this one here. It's been a pleasure. It looks like the stream quality has been good. Everybody's enjoying the HD and the nice microphone. But yeah, have a good evening, everybody. Link in description will be to the free newsletter. Feel free to add your emails so you stay in touch with me. And that's it. Goodbye. See you guys later in the week.